Introduction. On the cold morning of February 9th, 1855, residents of southern England awoke to something that defied logic, science, and common sense. Fresh snow had fallen overnight across Devon, Dorset, and neighboring counties, covering fields, rooftops, churchyards, and frozen rivers. But cutting across this untouched white landscape was a single continuous trail of strange footprints, stretching for over 100 miles. They appeared suddenly, they crossed impossible obstacles, and they vanished without explanation. By nightfall, newspapers were calling it the Devil's Footprints. Chapter 1: A Snowy Night and a Terrifying Discovery. The winter of 1855 was unusually harsh. Southern England, normally mild, was locked in frost. Snow fell steadily on the night of February 8, and by morning the countryside lay silent and white. That silence was broken when villagers stepped outside and noticed something deeply unsettling. The tracks were small and hoof-like, about 3 to 4 inches long, perfectly aligned in a single straight line, evenly spaced about 16 to 18 inches apart, appearing only as pairs, never clusters. To many, they looked like cloven hooves, the traditional symbol of the devil in Christian folklore. But what truly horrified people was where the tracks appeared. Chapter 2: Footprints that Defied Reality. Witnesses reported that the footprints crossed rooftops and haystacks, climbed walls and fences without disturbance, passed over frozen rivers and ponds, entered closed gardens without breaking gates, walked up to doors, then disappeared, continued across church roofs and graveyards. In one case, the tracks seemed to go straight up the wall of a house, over the roof, and down the other side, without sliding, smudging, or interruption. There were no signs of wings, dragging tails, or handprints, just one neat, endless line. Chapter 3: Panic in Victorian England. Victorian England was a deeply religious society, steeped in folklore and superstition. The idea that something supernatural had walked through the countryside overnight spread rapidly. Church attendance surged. People armed themselves. Some refused to leave their homes after dark. Local clergy were asked to bless homes. Farmers reported livestock refusing to go near the tracks. Parents kept children indoors. Newspapers amplified the fear, publishing eyewitness accounts and speculation. The Illustrated London News, the Times, and regional papers debated the phenomenon in serious tones. To many ordinary people, there was only one explanation: the devil had walked England. Chapter 4: Eyewitness Accounts. Reports came from dozens of towns and villages, including Exeter, Topsham, Tynemouth, Dawlish, Exmouth, and Crediton. In some places, the tracks extended for miles without deviation. In others, they abruptly stopped in open fields, as if the creature had vanished into thin air. One resident claimed the tracks went straight to his front door and ended there. Another said they led to a church wall, climbed it, crossed the roof, and descended into the graveyard. No body, animal, or culprit was ever found. Chapter 5: Early Scientific Explanations. As panic grew, scientists, naturalists, and skeptics began offering explanations, none of which fully satisfied the evidence. Escaped kangaroo theory. One popular suggestion was that a kangaroo had escaped from a private menagerie. Kangaroos hop in pairs, leaving prints that can resemble hoof-like marks. Problems. Kangaroos do not walk in straight lines for miles. They cannot climb roofs. No kangaroo was reported missing. Prints appeared on rooftops and enclosed spaces. Badgers, otters, or mice. Others argued the tracks were made by common animals distorted by melting snow. Problems. Animal tracks usually appear in groups, not single lines. The spacing was too regular. Tracks crossed obstacles animals could not navigate. Birds. Some suggested hopping birds like crows or owls could leave paired prints. Problems. Birds would leave wing marks. The tracks crossed areas with no landing signs. Birds don't walk for 100 miles in straight lines. Atmospheric phenomenon. A few scientists proposed that thawing snow and ice crystals created illusions that looked like footprints. Problems. Many witnesses saw deep impressions. The shapes were consistent across counties. Prints were measurable and physical. Chapter 6. A Weapon of Mass Confusion. Victorian Media. The Devil's Footprints became one of the first true mass media mysteries. Newspapers sensationalized the event, sometimes exaggerating details, sometimes printing contradictory accounts. Some reports may have been copied or embellished. Others could have been influenced by suggestion. Once people expected to see footprints, they might interpret any unusual mark as part of the phenomenon. Yet even allowing for exaggeration, too many credible witnesses, including clergy, officials, and landowners, reported the same thing independently. Chapter 7. Could it have been a hoax? The idea of a widespread hoax has often been suggested, but it faces serious problems. To fake the footprints would require hundreds of miles covered in one night, multiple counties coordinated, snow undisturbed except for prints, no human tracks, tools, or evidence left behind. No group ever claimed responsibility, no equipment was found, and no motive made sense on such a massive scale. Chapter 8. Folklore versus Reality. The Devil's Footprints fit perfectly into centuries-old European folklore. The devil appears in times of hardship. He leaves cloven hooves. He travels at night. He crosses sacred and private spaces freely. But folklore does not explain the physical evidence. Modern historians suggest the event may be a combination of natural causes, psychological contagion, and environmental conditions unique to that winter. Chapter 9. Modern Theories. In recent decades, researchers have proposed a blended explanation. Multiple animals, mice, rabbits, birds, created different tracks. Melting snow distorted shapes into hoof-like forms. Human perception connected unrelated tracks into one narrative. Newspapers unified the story, creating the illusion of a single continuous trail. This theory explains some, but not all, details. It does not explain rooftop crossings, street line consistency, or paired prints with identical spacing. Chapter 10. Why the Mystery Endures. No photographs exist. Photography was still rare. No casts were taken. No definitive measurements survived. All we have are reports, testimonies, and debates. Yet that absence of proof is exactly why the mystery remains alive. Unlike modern hoaxes or viral myths, the Devil's Footprints happened before mass entertainment, before social media, before incentive for attention. The people who reported it were often frightened, not thrilled. Chapter 12. Conclusion. Devil, animal, or something else? Nearly 170 years later, the Devil's Footprints remain unsolved. There is no proof the devil walked England. There is no single animal that fits the evidence. There is no confirmed hoax. What remains is one of history's strangest overnight events, a mystery frozen in snow, stretching across England, vanishing by morning. Whether it was nature, imagination, coincidence, or something truly unknown, February 9th, 1855 stands as a reminder. Sometimes history leaves footprints and never tells us who made them.